Hello and welcome to the Gig Show. I'm your host, Jim Dorman, and today we are very happy to have our guest, singer Brian De Lorenzo. Welcome, Brian.
Thank you, Jim. It's great to be here.
Great to have you on the Gig Show. Let me tell the audience a little bit about you before we can chat for a little while. Brian is Talent America's Performer of the Year, two-time Manhattan Association of Cabarets and Clubs Award nominee, and Top 10 of New York. Brian is an award-winning singer, actor, and songwriter, equally at home in nightclubs, concert halls, and theaters, as well as cruise ships in Alaska. Love that. The Mediterranean, and crossing the Atlantic. Brian's second big band album, Toast of the Town, Volume 2, just came out Friday, April 24th.
Yes.
That's correct. And celebrated last weekend with a Club Cafe album release concert that evening in Boston. The new recording revisits classic Great American Songbook standards associated with singers like Frank Sinatra, Ella Fitzgerald, and Tony Bennett. Who could be better than that, right? But with unexpected twists, rarely heard verses, inventive song pairings, and fresh arrangements created with veteran arranger and band leader Tom Lamarck and his orchestra. Brian's previous album, Volume 1, was recently nominated for the Manhattan Association of Cabarets and Clubs Lamont Friedman Recording Award. Again, welcome, Brian De Lorenzo.
Thank you.
So this album just came out. How did this all come about? It's the second volume. Can you tell us about where this has come from?
It's somewhat of a long story.
Yeah.
It goes back to before COVID. I forget what year, maybe 2018. I had the idea. I had been doing standards in musical reviews and adding them to my open mic performances and some cabaret shows, and I thought, it would be really great to do this with a big band.
Right.
So I hired an arranger. We just started working on it, and then he had some family issues he had to deal with. So I had to then look for another arranger.
Oh, okay.
In the meantime, I had been collecting other songs that I said, someday I want to record these. So while I was waiting to find Tom Lamarck and for him to be free to start arranging, I worked on my album, I Know More Now, in the interim, and recorded that. And that was released right in March of 2020.
Right. Okay.
I couldn't have a release concert because
that was the month.
That was the month that everything shut down.
Right.
So during COVID, Tom started working on my arrangements. I think I had 18 songs that we were looking at. Mm-hmm. And I thought, if I just get 4 more songs, I could do 2 albums. Because with the 18 songs, I was thinking, okay, I'll record 18 and then put the best of, 16 of the best on an album. But working with the big band is, kind of an expensive proposition. Mm-hmm. So I thought, okay, let's choose 4 more songs. We'll have Tom arrange them. Mm-hmm. We'll go into the studio, record all 22 songs, and then we'll split it into the 2 albums.
2 albums, right.
So, yeah.
Well, and having a big band, is that kind of a departure for you as a cabaret performer, or known as a cabaret performer? And if I could maybe just pause, because I know some people out there are watching that probably maybe have an idea what cabaret is, or maybe they don't have any idea at all. So, what is cabaret, and how is this different from it? I guess maybe.
Okay. Well, cabaret in sort of the past 50 years mm-hmm. Generally means a small nightclub with a singer singing for an hour, usually Great American Songbook stuff, but also contemporary writers. Mm-hmm. Some people do folk, some do country, but it's really an intimate space where the singer, there's no fourth wall. So it's not like theater. It's the singer communicating
Yes.
to the individual audience members, moving them to tears, moving them to laughter. It's a very intimate. Yeah. So, and big band is, you can't fit a big band on a cabaret stage. For the 2 CD release concerts, I could only get seven people on the stage because the stages are small. So it gives you a sense of what's on the recording.
Right. Okay. So I guess that's what my thought was, that, so you're used to doing cabaret type performance, and now you're with a big band. Was that something you always kind of wanted to do, or,
I think it was in the 1970s where I don't know if it was my dad who introduced me to the big band music of the 1940s.
Yeah.
But I fell in love with it.
Right.
And I never, at the time, I never imagined myself doing that. I just really loved listening to it. But I've had a taste here and there of singing with a big band over the years, and I thought, yeah, I want to do this.
Cool.
It's great. And even symphony orchestras, it would be great to do that too.
Wow. Yeah. So maybe tell us a little bit about the band itself, and Tom Lamarck. I've listened to the album. I really enjoy both albums, and really enjoy the arrangements. I think kind of cool. I think it's "I Got Rhythm" starts off with just the piano, and then the band kicks in. This is nice and dramatic. I love it.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe just fill us in a little bit about maybe anything about the Tom and the band.
Working in cabaret, I don't get to spend time with the band that much. It was, we went into the studio, and I meet the band for the first time, and it's not even that I get to know them. It's you get to work right away, and they're all professionals, so they're used to reading a chart for the first time.
Yeah.
We had 10 instrumentalists plus me spread out over the studio. I was in my own cubicle. Tom was in his way across the room. I could barely see him across the room. The drummer in another room and the bass player in another room. And then the rest of them are all in this central room with all their instruments. Some of them are playing trumpet and cornet, and some are playing clarinet, bass clarinet, saxophone, flute. So it was a really interesting experience doing that, because the recording studio is a very different feel than performing live. You have to position yourself to a fixed mic. You can't move. You can't really feel it physically as much as you do when you're performing live. So that was a learning learning process. And I think you mentioned earlier talking about the songs. I really love performing the verses that are usually in the sheet music, but even the great singers of the 30s, 40s, and 50s didn't necessarily do the verses when they performed. Well, partly because they're trying to fit a song on a 78, and if it's too long, if the verse makes it too long, then they have to cut out the verse. But it's really fun surprising an audience and singing this verse. What song is he going to sing? And then suddenly the chorus kicks in, and they're
and maybe if it was a Lorenz Hart song, it might be risque or something.
It might be.
How did you choose the songs, and did you think about the order of the songs and which ones would be on each album? I have a feeling you probably spent some time on that.
I did. And I don't remember if I made so I had all 22 songs. I can't remember if it was before I was in the studio where I decided which was going to be on volume 1 and which was going to be on volume 2. It could have been right before that, or certainly right after that. I said, okay, I really want these particular songs on volume 1. And it was actually a lot of newer songs that I hadn't performed before.
Okay.
But I said, Tom, I really want to do these songs. Please do an arrangement for me. I gave him some other recordings of the songs, and I said, I kind of like this. See what you can do. So he did that for me. Like one of them was the song "The Lady from 29 Palms," which is a fun song that not a lot of people know.
Yeah. Who wrote that one?
A man named Ali Rubel, Wrubel.
Okay.
I'm surprised I remember his name.
And it was written back
1947.
Oh, you know that? Sorry to put you on the spot like that.
Well, I remember because I talk about it a little bit before or after I sing the song. In fact, he and I share the same birthday, January 15th. And he moved, I think he moved from the East Coast out to 29 Palms, California. Mm-hmm. And somehow he got the idea to write a song about 29 palms.
Write what you know. Your interest is at the time. I love all the different great composers that you've mixed in here. And I think from my perspective, you go to see some of them, whether they were in a musical or somebody's performing them, and you hear the names. So it's good to get the background, like, some of these things, like who are these people?
Right.
Who are some of your favorite composers that maybe you might want to mention that are involved here?
Well, of course, the Gershwins. I Got Rhythm is such a fun number, and the two songs that we're going to perform today. One of them is from the musical Bells Are Ringing.
Okay. And
that is by Julie Stein, who's a great composer, and the lyrics are by Comden and Green. So it's always fun to sing their music.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking, because I was just in Rome, and I threw 3 coins in a fountain.
Yes, did you?
I did. Which I was kind of athletic, but I have trouble throwing things. They were going all over the place. I hope I didn't hurt anyone. The Trevi Fountain in Rome, but hopefully maybe your wish might come true. But that's another Julie Stein, I think, right? Maybe I'm missing that one up. But Sammy Kahn, I don't know.
Yeah, I actually can't remember.
Oh, okay.
But the song that's paired with that is "Luck Be a Lady Tonight," which is Frank Lesser, who's one of the great singular songwriters. Most of his work he did by himself. He did both the music and the lyrics.
That's Guys and Dolls, right?
Guys and Dolls.
Guys and Dolls.
Yeah.
Those good songs to have. Can't get them out of your head when you start hearing them. But the arrangement, was that tough? I mean, obviously you don't have so much time in the studio, and I don't know if the arrangements were kind of preset or how much you adjusted them going through the recording process.
Well, some of the songs I had been performing just in piano bars and cabarets, and Tom did charts for me for just piano and singer, and then in some cases he expanded them, extended an intro for the band, added an interlude for the band.
Yeah.
But in most cases it was much like what I had been performing, just without these great brass sounds.
Yeah. Okay. Well, like I said, I certainly have enjoyed hearing these songs. These songs I've loved my whole life, because I think we just found out they were similar age, and my parents, especially my dad, was a big band fan, and the stories he used to tell me about going to see Artie Shaw or whoever is fantastic. The same thing I was doing for rock bands or something, like it was on my 20s, but So happy that you've agreed to sing a couple of songs for us, and we're going to break and have you sing one for us now. Which song is that going to be?
That is going to be The Best Is Yet to Come.
Well, all right. So we'll be right back to Brian De Lorenzo with The Best Is Yet to Come.
Out of the tree of life I just picked me a plum. You came along and everything's starting to hum. Still, it's a real good bet, the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come, and babe, won't it be fine? You think you've seen the sun, but you ain't seen it shine. Wait till the warm-up's underway. Wait till our lips have met. Wait till you see that sunshine day. You ain't seen nothing yet. The best is yet to come, and babe, won't it be fine? The best is yet to come, come the day you're mine. Come the day you're mine. I'm gonna teach you to fly. We've only tasted the wine. We're gonna drain the cup dry. Wait till your charms are ripe for these arms to surround. You think you've flown before, but you ain't left the ground. Wait till you're locked in my embrace. Wait till I draw you near. Wait till you see that sunshine place. Ain't nothing like it here. The best is yet to come, and babe, won't it be fine? The best is yet to come, come the day you're mine. Come the day you're mine. Come the day you're mine.
Well, welcome back, Brian De Lorenzo. Really enjoyed your rendition of The Best Is Yet to Come.
Thank you.
I'd like to talk to you a little bit about, just kind of going back to how you got started as a singer. I know first time I saw you was back in 2002, doing a little cabaret singing with JM Productions at Raphael's over in North Quincy, which
Right.
I was lucky to see because you also had Mary Callanan on the bill.
Right.
There, so it's only 24 years later, but you're still going strong. A lot of experiences since then. But what happened before then? How did you get singing? Like, growing up, like what were your influences?
Yeah, a lot before that too.
Yeah.
Well, my dad was a singer, mostly church, but he also, sometime in the 1950s, he was working at a car dealership. He was the office manager, accountant in a car dealership, and they must have known that he sang because he had a 15-minute, I think, weekly radio program, I believe on WJDA in Quincy.
Always listen to that.
So he sang the standards of the time on that 15-minute radio show. I also, he had an uncle who was a band leader, Don Ferris, the Don Ferris Orchestra. I think I maybe saw them rehearsing in my great uncle's basement at some point when I was a kid. Not that it had much of an influence on me at the time, but I have 4 sisters, and we all sang, and we sang as a family growing up. And my parents noticed that I was interested in music, so they bought a piano, an old upright used piano, and asked me if I wanted to take piano lessons. I was about 9. I said yes, and then the Fine Arts Chorale in Weymouth. I don't know if you are aware of them. They've been around for decades and decades, doing the great works of the great classical masters, Mozart and Beethoven and Brahms, and they were looking for, I think, 3 boys to be in this one sequence of a cantata called the St. Nicholas Cantata by Benjamin Britten, a British composer. And so I was, I assume I auditioned.
Okay.
So I think it was maybe two soprano. I was a soprano at the time, at age 9.
Wow.
And so that was where I sort of got my first professional gig, singing with Fine Arts Chorale at Weymouth North High School in the auditorium. And then, so I was going to St. Francis Xavier Catholic School in South Weymouth at the time, and one of the nuns heard me sing at that concert, and she talked to my parents, and she said, I learned of this new choir school that's opening up in Weymouth. Your son might be interested. So we talked about it, and I ended up joining this choir school. It later became New England Children's Choir. At the time, it was called Christ Choir School. So it had a religious component as well as teaching kids music, how to read music, how to play recorder, how to sing together. So I was with that from 5th grade through 8th grade. And in high school, I was very much into the concert choir and doing concerts and plays and musicals. Well, we only did one musical, unfortunately, while I was in high school.
Oh, really?
We did Once Upon a Mattress.
We just did that recently here at Abington High School. I've done it a few times.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't have a big musical every year.
I guess the
South High School.
Yes, Weymouth South.
Because I was a North guy, and we had Anything Goes, which great musical, was my senior year. I was not in it. I did enjoy it. Should have came to North somehow.
And then I decided that I wanted to major in music in college, which kind of surprised my mother because she knew that I was a good student, so she thought I would do something more with, I don't know, math or or English or something.
Yeah.
But I decided to go to college for music, and I started out at what was then the University of Lowell as a voice major. It's now UMass Lowell. And a woman who was a year ahead of me at Lowell transferred out to State University of New York at Fredonia for musical theater. And when she came back, I think during Christmas break, I saw her and she said how much she loved it. And I said, that's something that I really would like to do. So I ended up transferring to SUNY Fredonia and got my Bachelor of Fine Arts in Musical Theater.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now this is kind of my next question. I'm not sure how to phrase it, but you're known for cabaret. You've done musical theater, but it seems like you gravitated more towards cabaret.
Well, gravitated, but also one needs to make life choices.
Okay.
And so I was doing theater quite a bit in the early years after I graduated. And I was taking office temp jobs, so that I could have the flexibility to do the theater.
Yes.
But then eventually it became hard to be cast in shows.
Yeah.
Partly because I'm a member of the union, but I'm not a leading man type. So I'm considered more for the smaller roles, the quirkier roles, but they'll often hire non-union people for those. So after a while, I said, maybe I'll just get a full-time job, make some money. I can always do theater later, but I can do cabaret at any time.
Okay.
So that's what I started doing, and
yeah. So it just kind of worked for you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and you enjoyed it, and you're good at it.
I enjoy. Yes.
Do you still ever do a musical or something like that?
It's been, I think it's been over 10 years since I've done a musical. I did a reading of a new musical, sort of a stage reading. So it was just like 2 performances on a weekend. So that works. But if I'm,
It's kind of hard to.
it's more difficult if I want to work at one of the local theaters, the professional theaters, having a full-time job.
Right, you still work
But
full-time.
in the future, when I retire from my day job, then I'll probably go back to theater.
Do you remember the first time you did cabaret?
The first time that I created my own cabaret show was in 1995 in Tuscany.
In Tuscany.
In Tuscany.
Excellent.
So a friend of mine decided, who's half Italian and half Irish, he wanted to rent a villa in Tuscany and invite people to come over and work on anything they wanted to work on. So I decided I want to work on my first cabaret show. I had been a co-founder of the Boston Association of Cabaret Artists in January of 1995. So, that was when I was really getting into the cabaret scene, and so 1995 in June, I think, went to Tuscany, worked on my first cabaret show, and I studied. I forget if it was before that or after that, where I took some classes with Helen Baldassare, who's a New York cabaret performer and teacher. And she and I then worked together, and she got some connections for me in New York, where then I could do my first cabaret show in New York after I had tested it out in in Tuscany.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think I haven't seen one of your cabaret shows other than the GI Jive with other performers, but I've seen few videos, and I just I'm taken by your ability to kind of express your emotions. I think connect with an audience. Are those some of the things that came to you naturally? Did you have to work on that originally?
Well, I probably had to work on it because I'm somewhat of an introvert in real life.
Yeah.
So getting comfortable to let everybody in an audience know what I'm about what was a challenge for me. But it's a rewarding challenge because I know that I'm moving people in the audience, and that's very rewarding to see that.
Yeah, and is that partly why you think you do it?
Yeah.
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 Great. Is it hard to do that and be able to do that consistently?
Not really. I think maybe when you're first learning particular songs, it's harder to relax into just being yourself when you're concentrating on the lyrics and that interval I'm having trouble with or whatever. But I think overall, it's not difficult.
Okay.
I think some people who are theater people and are used to performing big and performing a character, and I know this from experience, friends of mine who are wonderful theater actors, but they are very afraid of just being out on a stage and just being themselves. They need the crutch of performing a character.
Does how well it go sometimes depend on the audience? Or do you not feel that way?
Sometimes. An audience, if you're paying attention, an audience is going to affect you as a performer. So sometimes if maybe a joke doesn't go across, you might let that affect you. I mean, the challenge is not letting too much outside affect you, except the laughter. You want that to affect you. Laughter and applause.
Because some of the songs that you do, I mean, you are pretty much being so expressive, kind of letting your soul be laid bare.
Yes.
And it must feel kind of tough if you don't feel like that's connecting.
Right. Well, sometimes it's kind of the opposite problem. If you connect so much to a sad song, and you're not in control. Well, I don't want to say control, but sometimes the emotion can get so strong if I'm really connecting with a song that the tears can start to flow. So you don't want that. There's a fine line between letting the sadness show and going overboard.
Well, I can even hear in the recordings, I'm sure in live you can hear there's something in your voice that just expresses that emotion, and without going all the way, I guess, that it just comes through, that just kind of makes you stop. So, really love that.
Thanks.
So, what's next, do you think, for you? Any ideas at this point? I know it's kind of, you just came out with the second album.
Right. I'm. Well, it did occur to me that I could. There are plenty of standards that I could start performing and recording, but I also thought, I love a lot of pop songs from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and when I was in high school, I was singing a lot of pop music, and I thought maybe I'll take a little turn here temporarily and do some pop songs
that might be cool.
That I like.
In your own style.
In my own style.
In your own style.
Yeah, I'm not an imitator.
No. And speaking of your own style, I really enjoy one of the songs that you wrote. Things Will Get Better. So I know that's not the easiest thing to do, just to write or to keep writing, but I enjoy that.
Oh, thank you.
Song, so.
Yeah, that I decided during COVID. Well, I found out about a one-day workshop, a songwriting workshop. So I took that workshop, and then I thought, I never really knew how much I wanted to write songs. Yeah. So then I took a long-term course that was based in London of songwriting during, I had a lot of time during COVID to do that. Right. So I worked on that song. An idea came to me one day, and I said, I think I'm going to try and write a song about that. And then I ended up recording it. Now I'm not really concentrating on writing because I'm so busy with performing and recording that it's hard, and of course the full-time job, it's hard to find the time to do that. But that will come again.
Yeah.
The writing.
Great. It touched me, so let's keep doing it. If you have a chance, you have more time. Time is always difficult.
Yeah.
Well, one more thing about, we want to, people should get the listen to the albums out there, and I guess the platforms out there. You're all out there. Is there any other way we should tell people to get your music?
Well, people can go to briandelorenzo.com, and I have a buy page on my website. So my albums are available for download or for buying hard copies, like are right here on the table.
Yeah.
So that all of the information is there.
Everyone should get out there and listen. Very, very well done and very enjoyable. And I wanted to mention the cover. Could you tell us about that? It's just a great caricature of you.
Yes. So I had an album of cabaret singer from New York from the late 90s, and I really liked the artwork on it. And I contacted her and I said, who did the artwork? And she told me Robert Risco, and I had never heard of him at the time, but she said, I'll introduce you if you'd like, and she did. And in the meantime, I did some research about him and discovered that he was doing caricatures for Vanity Fair magazine monthly for about 25 years. I also surprised myself in discovering that I had been collecting CDs of Great American Songbook writers, Richard Rodgers and Larry Hart and Sammy Kahn and all of those great people, on this series of Capitol Records. And part of my reason for collecting them was I really liked the artwork. And I discovered at the time that Robert Risco did all of the album covers. And I had, I forget how many albums there were. It's like 20 albums, and I have 19 or something like that. I had all but one of them. And so I contacted him and he interviewed me. We spent 3 hours on the phone having a great time, because he wanted to get to know me to see what I was like before he could do the caricature. So I think he did a great job.
I do too. And I didn't know the backstory, so I guess that's why it looked maybe a little familiar. Well, that's great that you get him to do that. How old is he?
He's about our age.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Okay. For some reason, I guess he had done other ones maybe, but okay.
Yeah.
Guys, pick up The Toast of the Town, Volume 1 and Volume 2. Get out there and listen to it. Congratulations on both of them and all your work. And we thank you so much for coming on the Gig Show today.
Well, I appreciate this. It's really great to be here.
Great. And just so happens, I think we have time for one more song.
I think we do.
And what song are you going to do for us, Brian?
This is Just in Time, paired with Fly Me to the Moon.
Two great songs.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks for tuning in to the Gig Show with our guest, Brian De Lorenzo. I'm your host, Jim Dorman. Here's Brian with Just in Time, Fly Me to the Moon. We'll see you next time.
I was resting comfortably, face down in the gutter. Life was serene. I knew where I was at. There's no hope for him, my dearest friends would mutter. I was something dragged in by the cat. Then just in time, I found you just in time. Before you came, my time was running low. I was lost the losing dice were tossed. My bridges all were crossed, nowhere to go. Now you're here, and now I know just where I'm going. No more doubt or fear. I found my way, for love came just in time. You found me just in time and changed my lonely life that lovely day. Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, darling, kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. Now you're here, and now I know just where I'm going. No more doubt or fear. I found my way, for love came just in time. You found me just in time and changed my lonely life that lovely day. For love came just in time. You found me just in time and changed my lonely life that lovely